You know what I found? The people I talk to in Virginia, they're so dễ thương. I think everyone I've talked to have been females. Most people I talk to are females. I just thought of that. I don't know why that is, but I'm glad because we need to take control. We need to rule the world. We really need just to rule the world. Okay, everybody. We're going to look at the top reasons for foreclosure and bankruptcy. Oh boy. I know it's no fun. That's that look right there. First off, we have to do the disclaimer. And from now on, I'd like you to learn this so that each time I put it up, I want us all to read it together. So I want you to put your best broadcaster voice and read this with me. Ready? This is how it's going to sound. Here's the disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and is not meant to be taken as specific tax, legal, or investment advice. Very short. All right, here we go. Foreclosure. This happens when a homeowner fails to pay the mortgage. So foreclosure is actually the legal process by which a lender attempts to recover the amount that's owed on the defaulted loan by taking ownership of the mortgaged property and then selling it. Do you know what the top reasons are for foreclosure? Clearly, it's because of no money, but no one buys a home with the intention of not paying for it. The bank would not give you a loan unless they thought you could pay for it. So what are the top reasons for foreclosure? Medical bills and job loss. So don't think that it can't happen to you. The bigger reason, medical bills. Because medical bills result from medical problems, right? And those medical issues can result in job loss. Let's first take a look at the stats. So here are the statistics for foreclosure for January 2023 in the United States. I went too fast. California had the most foreclosures in the country, 4,101, and the least was South Dakota at 7 foreclosures. A lot of that has to do with population. Now we're going to look at the rate of foreclosure. And these are the 3 states that had the highest rates of foreclosure. Delaware, 1 in 2,109 homes was foreclosed. Then came Illinois. And in number 3 is the state of Michigan. Highest rates of foreclosure in the United States in January of this year. So there are 4 steps to foreclosure: default, notice of default, notice of sale, and then the auction. So let's take a look at the first step. So sometimes people, for whatever reason, but sometimes homeowners forget to pay the monthly mortgage. Most banks are not going to start foreclosure proceedings if you're late. They usually give you a grace period, just like with most other things. If you're paying a monthly bill, there's a grace period for which you have to get the payment in. They want their money. The moment you are late, you're going to hear from them. So expect emails, phone calls, letters, because you've missed your mortgage payment. So step 1 is default. Now, in many states, a lender can't move on to step 2 until 30 days after contacting the homeowner to try to work things out. So they will contact you to assess your financial situation and then explore some options to avoid foreclosure. So this time frame is called the Did you understand that? It's called the foreclosure avoidance assessment period. And there are a number of things that you can do to avoid foreclosure, including selling the house. Okay, so you can choose to sell the house. Step 2, notice of default. So if you can't come up with the funds to pay what you owe, a lender will issue a notice of default. This notice will be sent to the homeowner by certified mail. You have now been notified. And then they give you normally 90 days to pay off your most recent bill. This marks the beginning of the formal and public foreclosure process. At this point, you can still save your home if you can come up with the cash. There's still a way out. And if you're able to do that, you can do a mortgage reinstatement. It's kind of like the same thing with insurance. Let's say if you forget to pay or you don't pay, and then they contact you and you end up paying, then you'd get it reinstated if you've gone a really long time. So you can do a mortgage reinstatement. But you have to pay everything that you owe at once. So it's the payment, any late fees, right? Interest. There's going to be interest. But if you pay it all at once, you get a mortgage reinstatement. And then you just go back to paying your monthly mortgage like usual. Step 3, notice of sale. So if you can't make it happen, it goes on to step 3. And this is going to state that the lender will sell the home at auction in 21 days. 21 days. The notice is going to be sent to you via certified mail, but it also must be published weekly in a newspaper in the county where the property is located for 3 consecutive weeks before the auction date. So this is their way of getting the word out there, right? They're advertising to potential buyers. But you still have time. You still have time to save your home. In fact, you have up until 5 days before the sale to come up with the money and keep your home. If that doesn't happen, then we move on to step 4, the auction. Of course, the sale's going to be, the home will be sold to the highest bidder. That bidder has to pay the full amount immediately. So they come ready to pay. And as soon as the sales process is done, they get the deed. They are now the official new owner of the home. You, and I'm just saying you, may still be living in the home at this point. See, so throughout this whole process, you are probably still living in the house during the foreclosure process. So once someone else buys the home at auction, they are now the new owner, and they must notify any remaining occupants in writing. They have to give you written notice to quit or move out. 3-day notice. You must move out in 3 days. They will notify you in writing. If you don't move out, then the new owner can start the formal eviction process. And that's a whole nother thing. Could go through court to evict you, get you out of the house. Top 2 reasons: medical bills and job loss. So you know what I'm going to ask you, and you know what the answer is, right? Is there a way to protect yourself? Of course there is. Life insurance. Life insurance is not the answer to everything. I know it's been sounding like it. It's not. It's not the answer to everything. But it can help out in a lot of situations. So when the top 2 reasons are medical bills and job loss, of course, life insurance can protect you from that. It also has a death benefit, illness protection, income replacement. When I talk to people about planning for the future, like we're not even thinking about foreclosure. We're just thinking about, actually, I mention it all the time. Families go bankrupt all the time because of medical bills. Now, we always call them unexpected, unforeseen medical bills. But if you look at the numbers and you just know life in general, we all get old. Most of us will get sick, and we're all going to die. So life insurance will be able to protect you. Obviously, if you buy life insurance today and you go into foreclosure next week, not going to protect you. You've got to plan ahead. Same thing with retirement. Sometimes people get into contact with me. They want to retire in 3 years, or maybe 2 years, or maybe next year. And they want to know if an IUL will help them. Down the road, it might. That's not good planning. So You may be wondering, do you need life insurance? Okay, you know what my answer is going to be. But if you're wondering this, ask yourself some questions. They are so easy, very, very simple. But guess what? When you see these questions, the answers may not come so easily. These are the questions you should be asking yourself. What if your spouse dies tomorrow? If you're single, that question may not be easy to answer. In all seriousness, though, what would happen if your spouse died tomorrow? Most families wouldn't last very long on the money that they have now. What if you die tomorrow? So when we're talking about, protecting yourself, you're also protecting your family. If you've got children, okay? If you have debt and you've got children, especially if they're younger, you have to protect yourself because that's how you protect them. They still have like this whole life ahead of them. College, right? Maybe getting married, buying a home, all of that stuff that normally you would be around to help them with. But if something happens to you, you're not going to be around. What if you don't die? What if one of you gets very sick or critically injured? Sometimes people say their answer is, well, I got my 401k money. And sometimes that money is only like a couple $100,000. And I have to remind them, your 401k money, you haven't paid taxes on that yet. Taxes have to come out first. And there may be actually a long process before your children actually see any money. That's why living trust, estate planning is very, very important. Don't wait until it's too late. Okay, make these plans while you're still healthy. Make these plans while you're young. I know that when you're young, like you're in your 30s, it is like very foreign to you to even think about dying. And you certainly don't think about, but you should, like having a massive stroke or a heart attack. But what if you get into a really bad accident and you're critically injured? Okay, that means you have to stop working. For the employer, you're actually replaceable. They will find someone else to take your place. For your family, you are not replaceable. This will be a very, very heavy burden on your loved ones. Let's say you don't die, you get sick or critically injured, and now you're at home and you need help. Who's going to help you? Whoever is going to help you, you're going to need money, and it's going to be out of pocket money. I know I say it often, but I'm going to say it again in case anyone has not heard it yet. Your health insurance will not pay for it. If you, say, have a stroke and you can no longer feed yourself, or you can no longer take a shower by yourself, okay, or you can't move, like you need help moving around, that requires money, and that money is not going to come from health insurance. I know that a lot of people have life insurance through work. They think they're covered. They're covered while they're working. So if you stop working, if you get fired, if you retire, goes away. And if at that point you decide then you need to go buy your own insurance, well, you've wasted a lot of time. And now you're older and it's going to be more expensive. So unless you're uber wealthy, la yao tak yao tak yao da, okay? If you're so rich that money is just like not an object, then you need some kind of protection. Otherwise, you will drain your savings. You will have to drain your 401k. You have to get the money from somewhere. And medical bills are humongous. Oh, that's a fun word. Humongous. Ginormous. Humongous. Ginormous. Unless you just have so much money you don't know what to do with it, then you need some kind of protection. Like, so let's think about this. If you really, do rich people have insurance? Of course they do. A lot of it. A lot of it. What if one of you loses your job? Okay, so let's say you're healthy. You're going to live and you're healthy, but then you lose your job. And if you are currently living in a home that's really nice and you're paying a big mortgage and you didn't count on losing your job, that could change the trajectory of your family. So, all of those things you should be asking yourself. Who is this old guy? I hope you recognize him. Why? Because he's on money. Wait a second. Speaking of, does he look familiar? Does he look familiar? That's him. Hello. Oh, it's the same look. He's got that same look. He's got the same look. He looks a little airbrush, but that's Benjamin Franklin. That's Benjamin Franklin. And Benjamin Franklin said, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Very, very common quote. Have you heard it before? If you haven't, now you have. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So you have to plan, and all of these things can be taken care of. Phòng bệnh hơn chữa bệnh. Well, that's true too. That's true too. Yes, very good. I love Vietnamese sayings too. I love all sayings. My husband is in healthcare and has been for, gosh, I actually don't know how long. 2 decades maybe? And he's on the business end of it, and he's seen it happen, and it's really, really sad. Your family can be doing very well, and then someone gets very sick. Maybe it's cancer, and it just devastates the family if they don't have a plan in place. Quý vị đừng có nghĩ là health insurance nó take care. Health insurance là mình đi khám bác sĩ, okay, nó take care. And they may help you cover some other costs like surgery. Nhưng mà khi mà mình bệnh nặng á, tiền túi, khi mà quý vị cần người để giúp ở nhà đó, we're all gonna get old, and most of us will actually also get sick. So plan ahead. Do not wait, because the longer you wait, the more expensive it will be. Do it now, and then you can also make some money from it, not just get the protection. I helped a family earlier design plans for their 2 sons. So the mom and dad là hai cái người đó là phải là protect, phải là cái tiền tử nó cao cho người lớn mới là make sense. Cái gì mà xảy ra là con cái của mình nó nhận tiền, okay? 900 mấy ngàn. Còn nếu mà cả cha cả mẹ, okay, a couple of million. That's how we take care of our kids. Rồi start them young. Get them to save money now. Okay? When you give money to your 401k, you just call it saving. This is saving. This is saving with benefits that a 401k can't provide. And I don't care how much money you're making from stocks. If you get yourself into a situation where your medical bills are through the roof, that money is going to disappear very quickly. Yes. And then you've worked so hard and your family will have nothing to show for it. And if you're single, oh my gosh, if you're single, you can use it to be your own bank. If you have a properly structured IUL, when you need money, you go in there and you take it. You don't have to go get a loan from somewhere. You're going to have a big amount of cash in there that you can take out and use. Do you have to pay it back? You don't have to. But if you don't, then when you die, they'll take it out of your death benefit. And for people who are single who don't have anyone to leave a death benefit to, that's perfect. So everyone's situation is different. Everyone has different needs. And we can help everyone structure something that's just perfect for their family. Okay? All right. So yes, hit the like button. I'm glad that I did a thing last week on understanding life insurance, understanding your policy, understanding an illustration when you look at it. And a lot of people contacted me to go over their current plans, tell them what it all means. Like, what's cash value? What's net cash value? What's surrender cash value? Those all mean different things, right? And like They were paying fees they didn't know they were paying. So get it in writing, but then you got to read it. They had it in writing. They just didn't read it or they didn't know what they were looking at. And so now when we look at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, look, it shows you right here. They didn't look. So it's not the product. Okay. It was how it was structured. And then things change. Your life changes. Products change. So update, right? Unless you're still using a flip phone, you should be updating your insurance as well. Yes, sirree. Okie dokie. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends about us. The more, the merrier. And this is where we start playing around with buttons. Okay, here we go. Why, you smell pleasant. Remember that? Okay, I won't go through all of them. But thank you for watching. I hope you got some good information tonight. Please do not think that foreclosure and bankruptcy can't happen to you. Do you think the people who have gone through it thought it would happen to them? No, because if they thought it would happen, then they would have planned for it. They thought it wouldn't happen to them. So I have the best viewers. Thank you, everybody. Where's the music? Someone turn the music on. You know, the music that we like. Yeah, that's the one. Right away, I feel calmer. Contact me if you'd like some help. I'm happy to help you. Please check your emails after you do contact me. Wishing everyone a good night. Have a great day in Vietnam. Bye, Tweety Bird. Good night, Jim Rotter. Goodbye, Michael. See you later, Nga. Bye, Lon. Later, Gator. Bye, Maggie. We'll see you next time. Bye.